Welcome to the crazy, fascinating world where the whole world is coming to an end because of, would you believe it, student loan forgiveness. Now, I'm being facetious. Of course, a lot of people are going out of their minds about the student loan forgiveness thing, and it's obviously class warfare. It's obviously political. It obviously is a huge amount of new debt for very little payoff. Based on what I saw, this program would be relieving possibly $10,000 to $20,000 of my debt if I qualified. I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy at all. My debt is 6 times that amount of money. So does it make a difference? Sure. Will it affect my ability to pay it off while still living, which I didn't plan on? I don't know. I do know that if you're only relieving that amount of debt to people that have debt like mine, it is a token thing to fan the flames of class warfare. It will not actually do a whole lot for the overwhelming majority, perhaps, of the people that are dealing with this debt. I don't know enough of the statistics on quantity of debt to know that for sure. But knowing what I had to borrow, when I had to borrow it, and how the cost has gone up since, it's a token thing to fan the flames of class warfare and to make out like you're helping the little guy. Here's the problem, and it's a problem that we have online with conservatives and people that lean really traditionalist. We get wrong all the time. There'll be things like the meme that says, if I have to be drug tested to get a job, you should be drug tested to get unemployment. The problem is unemployment shouldn't exist. Welfare shouldn't exist. Food stamps shouldn't exist. These things should not exist in the first place, but we buy into supporting them by sharing the meme because we like the idea of, well, they should have to be drug tested. Well, no, actually, nobody should ever be drug tested for anything unless there's been an accident or an incident or something legitimately being investigated. And nobody should be getting your money stolen from you in taxes and redistributed in these programs to begin with. But it sounds so morally righteous to say, well, if I've got to be drug tested, then you need to be. No, we need to back up. Is student loan forgiveness a bad thing? Well, in principle, yes. I mean, it's stupid, but it's one stupid thing in a series of stupid things. When you subsidize something, you produce more of it. And this is the thing we don't get about economics. I've been listening to a lot of Thomas Sowell recordings. Go check out Thomas Sowell. He'll sum this up nicely. When you subsidize something, you get more of it. Case in point, creating special social programs to help single mothers. Well, how could you possibly be against that? There's a great story of the foreign observer visiting the United States that said, I can't believe you pay these women to have kids. Well, no, we don't. We're helping them out because they have kids. Well, no, because you're giving them money for having kids, you're paying them to have kids, creating programs meant to help single mothers because we want to help people out. Well, why then have we seen the incredible explosion of single motherhood? Because it pays to be a single mother. And someone out there screaming at me that's stupid and simplistic. Nobody would do that. They do it every single day, and we see the proof of it in the statistics. So when you give people money for not working, you increase unemployment. You give people money for having kids out of wedlock, you get more kids out of wedlock. When you give people money to spend too much at college, they will spend more money at college. We've got to subsidize and help people go to college because it's too expensive. You guarantee the price goes up. You guarantee the rent goes up when you do rent relief. You guarantee all of these things you throw government money at produce more. If you're trying to cover the rising cost of expense, you're going to make the expense only go up. So we made the cost of higher education go higher and higher and higher and higher by subsidizing it more and more and more and more and more. It will do that. At the same time, then the quality declines. The quality of our public schools have declined. What happened by the time I went to college? Everybody knew you had to go to college. College was the new high school. If you didn't finish college in some fashion, you were not going to do anything but pump gas the rest of your life. How true that was, I don't know. That's the story drummed into us in the public schools. You go to a college, you sign your life away, you have no idea of the consequences. All of this money is also then loaned in bad faith by bad faith actors. People who know, corporate entities that know the government is going to back that loan and you're not going to be able to get out of it. They'll get something back for it, loaning money that is entirely fictitious in the electronic realm, not on the gold standard, but that's a whole other issue. They know they're going to own you. Otherwise, why would they loan you $100,000 to study theology? Nobody in their right mind would do that. That's a horrible investment. You're never going to be able to pay that back. How does the cost of getting a degree in theology get that high for a field that, because government is subsidizing at every level education. That trickles up and back down at all levels of education. Everything gets higher. Wages of professors go up. Everything goes up. Prices go up. It causes everything to go up, and the government artificially supporting this hike in the cost of everything. So you end up signing your life away. You don't really understand the consequences. You get a bachelor's degree in Hungarian folk dancing, and then you go get a master's degree in critical race theory and gender studies. And guess what? You're running around with a master's degree, and you are not qualified for nothing unless your communist regime manages to bully people into hiring you as a diversity officer or some other such completely made up, non-work, non-real, mythological task or job. Then you owe all this money. Most of you are not going to be able to get a job in your field. Most of you are not going to be able to get a job that allows you to repay the money ever. But you've had this put on you and attached to you when you were young and stupid and didn't know better by a corrupt system that was causing the education to artificially go up in price and bullying you to sign your life away when you didn't understand it, because they believed that over the course of your lifetime, they'd be able to weasel some of that off of you and you'd have no way out of it because the government won't let you file bankruptcy to get out of it. So forgiving people debt that they signed for, even though they were young and stupid and didn't know better, they were technically adults, obligated to know better, forgiving that debt, that's dumb. It's not anyone else's fault, what happened to me or anyone else. No one else should have to pay for it. But let's not focus on that like a meme we share online and not look at the core problem. The core problem is programs that never should have existed in the first place, created an entirely bogus culture around education that gave everybody a degree, most of whom couldn't have finished high school 2 generations before. And nobody wants to take menial jobs because they're beneath them, because the culture told them you're ignorant if you do it, upsetting the whole balance of the country's economy, putting everything out of whack, creating all this bogus artificial debt by artificially inflating costs. I'm going in a circle here, right? Because it's how it works. When you do something that you intend to create more of the same problem, and this is the key, liberals who come up with these ideas, or we will pay you to have kids, to help you take care of the kids you have, they're either incredibly stupid and naive, or they know that it's going to create more single motherhood, less families at home, more social catastrophe that then Marxists can claim they have the answer to and throw more wrenches into the machine. It is economic, cultural, and political sabotage by most of these Marxists. They know that it doesn't work, and they want to prove that the whole system that we had before didn't work by artificially inserting problems that were not major and magnifying them 1,000 times by their attempt to help them. The naive and stupid think that they were trying to help. Most of them know that they're trying to destroy and overthrow the system.